Hey everybody, this is Brian. Just decided to play this game called Devil's Crush, which I've had since 1990. And I had this game at Waverly Street, where Tom and I grew up. And when he lived there, I ended up hearing down the cellar, I heard this game playing. And he doesn't really like video games. So anyway, I went down there and he was playing this game here called Devil's Crush. And he actually introduced me to pinball at the Sunlight Alley. And Sunlight Alleys, I think it was called, in Stoneham. And he showed me a pinball machine, and I loved it. And he loved pinball, like the physical pinball. And so anyway, I kept going there to play the pinball machine, and then eventually they had Space Invaders there, and I got hooked on that. So basically, Tom introduced me to video games without even realizing it, really. But anyway, years later in 1990, I had a TurboGrafx game system, and I saw this pinball game in one of the video game magazines. I think it was called, what was it called? I think it was called Electronic Game and Monthly, I think it was. But they ended up showing Devil's Crush, and I was like, oh my god, I need that game. And so I ended up getting it, and I hooked it up down my cellar, as well as a bunch of other game systems. And I had a lot of friends come over, and we were playing it, and as well as other games, but we would have competitions to try to see who get the highest score in Devil's Crush. But I thought it was hilarious, because my brother was playing this game at like 11 o'clock, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and he was playing it for a very, very long time. But anyway, I'm going to finally start it. I apologize if I sound tinny. I'm trying to talk through my headset instead of my shotgun microphone, because I didn't want to have to deal with the whole setup, because it would have taken me a little bit longer. But anyway, here's Devil's Crush, and off on the right on the screen you'll see a tribute video of Tom and him growing up. But yeah, we had quite an interesting childhood, and my sister and I were always kind of following Tom around, and we really looked up to him. And I'll tell you one thing though, if there ever was like an apocalypse or something, this guy would have been the one to have survived. You know, because he was a hunter. He was very good at basically making something out of nothing. And the reason I'm doing really crappy at this game right now is because I'm talking. But I'm just gonna keep playing anyway. You know, it's funny, when I play video games, I usually don't talk much because I'm so focused. But honestly, this game here though, this, in my opinion, is the very best pinball, digital pinball game you could ever play. And anyone that collects video games, such as I do, would definitely say that nothing compares to Devil's Crush. There is another game though that someone recently created a few years ago that I saw at PAX, and I think it's kind of a tribute to Devil's Crush. And it's called Demon's Tilt, and you can get it on the Switch, you can get it on Steam, and you can get it on the Xbox and PlayStation, pretty much all platforms. Yeah, so anyway, in regards to Tom, he really was one of the many people, or one of my main influences for making art. And there are a few other people, obviously, too. Like, I have an aunt that really got me into it, and my parents obviously encouraged me. And but Tom, though, you know, he was always drawing skeletons and stuff like that, and monsters. And I personally had developed my own style because I've been drawing since I was 2. But in terms of what I like to draw, I really did like, you know, seeing skeletons and monsters and stuff like that. And obviously, my influences are normally heavy metal, and I think mostly heavy metal, really. It's just something about the music, you know, makes it easier to draw really crazy stuff when I'm listening to some heavy metal, which also is what Tom got me into. Tom got me into heavy metal by Black Sabbath. We were down in the garage because he basically turned the garage that we had in our backyard after my parents got divorced. When my dad left, my brother turned it into kind of like a party palace, and he had a whole bunch of albums. And I remember seeing Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. I remember seeing the cover, and I was just like amazed. Oh crap, I just did really bad there. Like I said, I'm really good at this game. It's just that because I'm talking, my concentration is a bit thrown off, but you'll see I'll be getting better and better at playing this as it goes on, as I get used to talking and playing. You know, I can chew gum and walk, so I think I can probably do this. Wow, this is crazy. I don't think I've ever gotten thrown into one of the bonus levels that fast after having lost the bonus level. Yeah, this is my last ball too. But yeah, so Tom got me into Black Sabbath. That was my start of listening to heavy metal. And anytime I went down to the garage, him and all his friends would be down there. They'd be blaring music, and I'd just be sitting there with the record jacket, you know, the record sleeve and record jacket, looking at the artwork and looking at the crazy stuff on the covers. And then eventually there was Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden was like, oh, I was crazy about that. So I can definitely thank him for getting me into heavy metal, and obviously accidentally introducing me to video games through pinball. But then I guess that came full circle later on when he started playing video game pinball down the cellar. Yeah, see, look at that. Now I'm finally doing good. And I actually did beat this game. It took me forever. And there's a lot of hidden things in this game, like there are secret ways to get a free ball, and one has to do with when you first launch the ball. You have to launch it at kind of a slow speed, and if the ball gets stuck at the top of the chute, it literally gives you, if I recall, it gives you like a free guy or something like that, and just like an insane amount of points. Oh, crap. Okay, so that's the last ball. What's going to end up happening, it's going to give me a last chance, just like a regular pinball machine does. If the last 3 numbers match the score, then it gives me a free ball. I probably won't get it, though. man, in this game, I played this for hours, my brother played this for hours, and then I had friends over, and they would play this for a long time with me. And my nephews. I mean, this game is legendary. Yeah, so going back to Tom, yeah, we had a lot of fun down in the garage. I mean, obviously, him and his friends are doing things that I probably shouldn't have seen, but now, me being a little kid at that time, oh, you gotta be kidding me, I just lost my ball. I was oblivious to a lot of the stuff that was going on down there until I was a little bit older. But yeah, it was like a party palace. There was heavy metal playing and rock and roll, and it was just really cool, which apparently is why a lot of people showed up there. And Tom also got me into liking to watch smash-up derbies and stuff like that, because as you can see with some of the videos on the sidebar there, you'll see some smash-up derby stuff. That was done on my family's land in Wolfboro, and there was really a point, at one point in our lives, that you could get away with almost anything up there. I mean, we were smashing cars up, spray painting them and stuff, and blowing things up, and just, it was awesome, to be honest with you. I really miss it. But now you can't really get away with much up there. Oh, look at that, the ball's stuck. Yeah, Tom, it was funny, when it would snow out, there were some occasions where he would, he'd be like, hey, do you want to go for a ride? And, most people don't really want to drive in the snow. He would take me, he'd drive me to the back of the junior high, which was next to George Manco in Stoneham. And he would drive really fast across the parking lot and then cut the wheel really fast and just let the car spin out and go across the lot. And he did that quite a few times. And yeah, it was just, we did so many crazy things. I mean, I have like countless things that are stuck in my brain that we had done growing up, that some of the stuff we probably shouldn't have done, but at the time it was fun. And he even had me go with him one time. He said he had to get a battery for his truck, and he took me to this place. It was an industrial area, and there was this van parked there. And he says, "Okay, can you help me get the battery out?" And so I started helping him get the battery out, and I was probably like maybe 12, maybe 13. And then he takes the battery out of his truck, and he swapped it with the battery that was in another truck. And then when we're driving away, he starts laughing. And I said, "What's so funny?" And he says, "That was my boss's battery." And I was just like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "We just stole someone's battery?" He goes, "No." He says he owed me money, and he's been, he says been kind of a jerk, although he said other words that I won't say because I'm on Facebook. But yeah, so he had me do a battery heist with him, which I felt terrible personally, but he was laughing because I guess that guy was, he wasn't very nice to him at all. But yeah, so he got his car battery, and I just had another memory added to my data bank of stories to tell in regards to our growing up together. But yeah, this game right here, going back to this game, just seeing how hooked Tom got on this game was hilarious because he spent hours and hours playing this. And I mean, I can't say I don't blame him because I've done the same. And throughout this game, even still today, I run across things that make me say like, wow, how did I do that? Because there are other little points in this game where if you hit the ball into a certain spot or if it gets stuck in a certain spot, it'll either give you a free guy or it'll give you literally like, I think it's like 1,000,000 points. And if my nephew's watching this, he will know exactly what I'm talking about because a lot of times it happens by accident and it rolls across the screen. It scrolls off to the side and it makes like a drum noise. And it's like one of those moments where you're like, yes! But then you don't really know 100% how you did it. But I know one of them is at the top of the chute where the ball comes out. If you get stuck up there, you'll get a boatload of points. I think a free ball. But every one of those little portal-looking things that are spinning, most of those, not all of them, most of those will send you into another area where you fight bosses or have a bonus round. Yeah, I got this game once it first came out because I was so excited. Those were the days where you actually had to go to the game store and walk in there and wait, until you're helped, and then they'd get the game for you. And I ended up paying, I think it was like $59.99 for the game. And this is back in 1990. So the prices haven't changed a real lot in comparison to current games, although I guess the newer game systems, like the Switch 2, the games are like $79, which is kind of a bit much. So I'm not really happy with what they're doing with all the digital games. You can't collect games anymore. They're going to be stuck on the system, and then when they shut down the servers, you're probably pretty much screwed and you're out of your games, unless it's a game that you can play locally on your hard drive, on the system itself. But that's the direction video games are going. PlayStation 6 is going to be coming out and within like a year or two, I think it is. And they're going to make it all 100% digital, which honestly really sucks. And doesn't make me happy as a collector. Because I really do. I love collecting video games. I've been collecting since 1978. And I have, I think I have like 40-something systems, maybe more. And I think I have probably easily, in terms of digital and physical games, I think I have something like 20,000 games or something. But, oh shoot, there's no way of getting out of that. But if any of you guys are looking for a great pinball game, I highly suggest this game. You could go buy a TurboGrafx, and you could, get a converter for HDMI and get the game. You'd be spending probably a lot of money because this game and the system, you'd probably be looking at a few $100. However, if you get into emulators, if you search online, I'm not going to say exactly where because I'll probably get banned on Facebook. If you look online for what's called a ROM for the game, you can get it for free, and then get the emulators for free, TurboGrafx emulator, and a decent controller, then you could play this game for essentially free. But yeah, I suggest if you do a search for it, you'll probably be able to find your answers as to what I'm talking about. Yeah, so going back to Tom, he was a really great brother. he was obviously, he got into trouble a lot. And I think that was part of his fun, to be honest with you. But he would never hurt anybody. And he would always stick up for like anyone. If he saw someone in distress or needed help, he'd be right there to help them. And he was just that type of person. And as I stated earlier, he's the type of person that could survive in the woods probably indefinitely, because he knew what to eat, he knew what to hunt, he was good at hunting, very good at fishing, he knew how to build a lean-to, he built his own log cabin, and he was wicked talented. And he was an inspiration for me and my sister for a lot of things. In regards to myself, he, like I said, he accidentally got me into video games, but also nature, because I love the woods just as much as I love video games. He got me into that, he got me into drawing, he got me into heavy metal, and he also got me into just getting groups of people together, just having fun. Because just as he did, I would get groups of people together and would all hang out and have fun and listen to music, play games, watch movies, and watch really crazy movies, horror movies and stuff. And Tom would get friends together and just have a blast. And so, you know, that inspired me to do something similar and just always try to have groups of friends together. The other thing that Tom shared with me in terms of us growing up is social anxiety. Now, a lot of you that know me probably don't know that I have a social anxiety. Like, I don't like to go into a mall by myself. But the funny thing is, though, I'll set up awesome parties, like awesome Halloween parties and stuff like that, movie nights. So it's really strange. I have social anxiety, but yet I'll get big groups of people together to hang out and have fun. It's really weird. And he was kind of the same way, because you would never see him near a mall. You'd probably never see him go to a movie theater, but yet he would be surrounded by friends and partying and having fun. It's just really weird. But in the same type of manner, that's kind of what I'm like. I just don't like very large groups of people. But if I start talking to someone, I talk for a very long time, and I have to either be told, like, you know, hey, I gotta get going or something like that, or I'll just have to kind of try to pull myself away. And any of you that know me know that I talk a real lot. Yeah, it's pretty funny. My brother Tom, when it comes to Wolfboro, if I brought friends up there, he would always ask them to get firewood, or he'd tell them to get something, like an item or something like that from like the car out behind the barn, but at nighttime. You know, it was like really creepy. And, you know, he would just kind of test them and see if they'd go do it. And if any of you guys have been to Wolfboro, you know that at nighttime it gets insanely dark up there. And when you see the barn at nighttime, it looks very ominous. And especially when you can't really see the moon at night, it's like pitch black. But he would say something like, go up behind the barn and get a car manual out of the glove compartment out of the car that's parked behind the barn. And it usually be one of those beat up cars that you know, would drive around the fields and stuff like that. But he got a kick out of doing stuff like that, playing pranks on people and stuff, and that's like kind of like some of the things like I like to do, like playing jokes on people and stuff like that, or setting something up that just makes people scratch their heads and, you know, just kind of confuses them or throws them off. But he would do stuff like that a lot. He did get himself in trouble one time too by playing a prank. He ended up, and I'm probably butchering this story, but I'll tell it anyway. He ended up taking a bunch of road flares because they look like dynamite, and they look like dynamite to the untrained eye, basically. He took a bunch of road flares, he stuck them together, and he attached a clock and a bunch of wires, and he put it in the back seat of his friend's car. When his friend went to the car, his friend panicked, and what he saw in the back of his car was a bomb, and it wasn't a real bomb. It was fake. It was road flares, and I guess the cops were called, and if I'm not mistaken, they had a bomb squad as well, like a bomb person. My terminology's off on that. Someone who defuses bombs, I guess. But they had someone like that show up, and he got in big trouble, and it was in the newspaper. And my poor mother, she saved the clipping, and I recall coming across that clipping not too long ago. I think I actually might have it. But anyway, so he got himself in trouble there. But like I said, he would stick his neck out for anybody. If he saw someone that needed help, he would help them. And he was definitely an interesting character. He had a knack for getting in trouble. He liked to prank people. He liked to have fun. And he was exceptionally creative. He even made, one Christmas, but it sounds kind of funny, he made me, see, why did I get those points? Oh, that's cool. Not complaining. I like good points. He ended up making me, my sister, and my mother knives. I don't mean just any knives. They were decorated. He made them by hand, and he sharpened them. He put designs on them. And for mine, because I ended up in a commercial art class, I put a cross on my knuckle with India ink. I made it myself. And my brother knows that, so he ended up making this knife that said BH and then had a cross on it. And I couldn't believe how amazing it came out. And he made it all by himself. And it was very professionally done. It was shellacked and everything. And he did the same for my sister and my mother. And I keep that in one of my drawers nearby. I use it like a letter opener. And it's just, it's a really cool thing to have. Yeah, speaking of Wolf borrowing cars again, that's another thing that Tom would end up doing, is anytime someone new was up there, like one of my friends or one of my relatives' friends, like one of my cousins or something like that, he'd ask them if they want to go for a ride. He wouldn't take them for a ride on the street, he'd take them for a ride through the woods. And not just a regular ride, like it'd be like driving through the woods and like peeling out around corners and stuff like that. And it's almost like being on probably a dangerous roller coaster, really. And yeah, I mean, he really made people not forget who he was, that's for sure. So yeah, this game right here, like I said, this is personally my favorite pinball game, but probably anyone who is a video game enthusiast, and like a majority of my friends, knows Devil's Crush is the ultimate digital pinball game. And I really think that this game will probably be the one that people will try to beat, like in terms of creating a game. Like, this is basically what a lot of people model a perfect pinball game around. And if I stop talking, it's not that I don't have anything to say, it's because I'm concentrating on the game. When you get the ball at the very top of the screen, like I have it right now, because it's a tiered pinball machine, when you get it at the very top and you have those 3 balls down below blocking the ball from dropping out, you try to keep the ball up at the top as long as possible and try to hit everything you can. Because being at the top of the board is probably the best place to be in the game. And being at the top here, you can do multiple things. Where that arrow is in the upper right, if I get the ball there, it'll send me into another area. If I'm not mistaken, that one will. It'll send me into another area where you fight a boss. But if the ball goes up and around, it'll hit all those guys on the left in the bag, one by one, until they're all destroyed, and then the ball will come out the gate down below, like right here. So you hit those guys in the back a few times, and then after you defeat all of them, you'll pretty much lose the ball. And what I mean by that, you'll lose the ball at the top of the screen, and it'll go out the gate down below, and then you'll be back on the playing field for the rest of the board. But if you look, there's so many things to hit in this game. Like, you'll see there's little white skulls up top, and then they pop down. Ah, I got another one. That's crazy. Yes, I honestly don't know how I did that. I think maybe I destroyed all those little white skulls, or I hit them in a certain way. But yeah, basically, this game has so much in it. And if you look at those Roman numerals that are spinning around, I'm trying to remember what those do. I think those open up different gateways when they go solid on one of them. Like, it'll stop on one eventually. I mean, I've been playing this game since 1990, and it's like, I still don't know everything about it. That's how much stuff is in this game. Yeah, see, I don't know why I just got a ball there. An extra ball. It's just weird. I mean, I'm doing good now. Oh yeah, see, there's that Roman numeral 2. If I get the ball up in the corner there in that hand, it'll send me into another area. That's if I can get the ball up there. It's kind of hard to shoot the ball up there. Looks like it would be easy. Oh, there we go. Let's see if I can actually beat one of these. It's tough with the double flippers because you think you're making a flipper go up on one side, but you're actually not making it go up on the other side. It's hard to explain. If you ever play this, you'll know what I mean. Now, if you look down below, those 3 balls have separated, so now it's going to be tough to try to keep the ball up top here. Another cool thing about those little jello balls there, if you turn all 3 of them red, you get a free ball. I think it's a free ball, or you get like 1,000,000 points or something like that. Oh, crap. and that lady's head in the middle. If you keep hitting her head, she, well, if you keep hitting the portals on the left and the right, the armor will come off and she starts transforming into like a reptile creature. Oh crap, I can't believe I just missed that. Yeah, now that I'm not at the top of the screen, I'm gonna probably do bad. Yeah, there she goes. She's starting to turn into the lizard. And then when she fully turns into a lizard, you can shoot the ball into her mouth, and that goes into like a boss fight. And just like a real pinball machine, you can tilt the pinball machine. There's a button that you can push that shakes the table. You know, so if you can kind of like direct the ball a bit, but if you shake it too much, the game will tilt and you'll lose your ball, just like a real pinball machine does. See, I just turned the ball orange. I don't remember what the orange ball means, but that's a really good thing. I just don't remember what it does exactly. And I don't know how long it stays orange. It's probably a bonus multiplier. Like everything you hit is probably worth more points. And after a while, you get to a point where you can kind of direct the ball. Like if you notice, I can keep hitting that tower in the middle. Oh, shoot. Oh, man. Oh, my last ball. Oh, let's see if I can get a free ball. Anytime you get the ball into that little tower up there at the top, it makes a tower down the bottom, which blocks the ball from dropping. And if you ever play this game, that's probably the first thing that you should try to do, because obviously that's the gutter down below. And then when you get the ball back in the chute, that little tower disappears. So I have to try to get the tower back down there again. So there is a lot of strategy in this game. And now I can shoot the ball into the lizard's mouth. For a boss battle. If I'm not mistaken, this one's probably one of the easier ones. Oh, shoot. Never mind. I completely jinxed myself there. That ball just like shot right down there and I couldn't even block it. Now I'm going to play this for a few more minutes and then I'm going to sign off. But I figured I'd tell those few stories about Tom and then show what his favorite pinball game was. Well, pinball video game. and talk a little bit about him, about some of the things when we were growing up. But yeah, he's gonna be terribly missed. And it's really unfortunate. Obviously, absolute shock. But one thing's for sure, his memory is gonna live on, and boy, everyone's got stories about him. And you know, no matter what type of stories are there, they're what's gonna keep him, you know, alive forever. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have met him and know what he's like. And yep, great guy, super talented, and totally loved his family and friends. And he's gonna be sorely missed. Oh, no free ball on that. I'm just going to fill up the scoreboard here. Which apparently I've got a high score across the board until someone beats my score. Okay, I guess I'm going to sign off, and I appreciate whoever's been watching. If I could talk, that's another thing. I can't talk with the headset on. My voice slurs or something. It's very bizarre. But anyway, have a great week, and thanks for watching.